All right, and we're back. This is Hook and Ladder. This is week 0, and we're going to do some conference predictions this episode as well. So I guess we need to go get started with week 0's games.
Yeah, and happy to be back. Happy we got college football finally.
That's right. That's right.
It was a long summer.
So USC knocked off San Jose State 56-28. I didn't see any of this, but the score doesn't really seem like USC's got that defense together just yet.
No, I mean, offense, we knew they would be clicking. Mm-hmm. That's a Lincoln Riley-led team's offense is always great. They scored a special teams touchdown. They got the pull up. I forgot his name. Number 1, he's a freshman, scored 4 TDs. Mm-hmm. Receiving, returning. Really good player. Their offense looked great. Defense didn't look too good. San Jose State's not a bad football team by any stretch of the imagination. But I was looking at Bear Alexander, the Georgia transfer, the 5-star defensive lineman. Dude who was primed to have a huge...
Go ahead.
He was primed to have a huge role at Georgia. The thing comes out like Friday, the rumor. Or the rumor, not like he has a handler or a mentor, you know? Mm-hmm. And basically he wasn't guaranteed a starting spot. I mean, this dude's quote was in every article. He wasn't guaranteed a starting spot. So the mentor could no longer trust the Georgia coaches because they said he'd have a increased role. Well, increased role doesn't mean you're going to be starting every game.
All right.
I looked at him because I thought he should be the best player on the field. He was all right. He was very disruptive. He had batted pass. I think he created things for other guys, like the linebacker transfer. They had a boatload of transfers on defense. He created some things for the linebacker to make plays, but their defense still needs a lot of work because they're going to go up against some teams that are better overall, and they're going to struggle if they can't stop anybody.
Right. And speaking of better overall teams right now, Notre Dame looked really good against Navy yesterday.
They did.
Sam Hartman's a difference maker.
He is a huge difference maker. I still don't think he's all that. Like, you've looked at some of the throws. Like, I hate being like, he's not that good. He's an excellent QB. Mm-hmm. But a couple of the touchdown passes he threw, the defender gets a hand up in the air and they're batted down.
Right.
But he made a huge difference. It's all the experience. They showed the stat on the TV. It's something like 3,000 snaps as a college QB already. He's been in school. This is his 6th year. So, I mean, the experience, the talent, they haven't had a QB like that in a long time. Mm-hmm. Well, so, I mean, like, they look good. Defense looked good. If you can stop that rushing attack, which is always a hard thing to do, right. Even you're going to win the game, but just stopping that over and over again is hard. They did it. So I think, Notre Dame may have a pretty good season this year.
Yeah. Vandy knocked off Hawaii 35-28.
Yeah, they did that last year. Although Vandy's passing game looked good. Mm-hmm. But, we'll see. I want to pump the brakes on Vandy for a little bit,
They're not world beaters just yet. All right. Well, fairly big game happening Thursday night. It's going to be Utah against Florida, 8 o'clock on ESPN.
Couple of decent games. That Nebraska-Minnesota game will be good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the marquee matchup of week 1, Thursday night, is Florida at Utah. Is Cam Rising going to play? He's a game-time decision. They're ranked number 14 in the country. Florida's breaking into new QB, but it was Graham Mertz. Mm-hmm. So he's got experience. He never really fulfilled potential. The hype coming out as the quarterback Nebraska never had that could get him over the hump. He just never became that guy.
Yeah. Wisconsin.
What is he going to do at Florida?
Yeah.
They lost a lot. They got a lot of guys drafted off that team last year. They're having a hell of a recruiting class right now, but what did they do last year? Right. Who's coming back to catch passes? Right. Who's coming back to run the football?
Yeah.
I think Utah's going to beat them, but I don't know. It could be a tougher game than people think.
Utah lost that game last year and it really put a hex on that whole season. Mm-hmm. They played really well. Tech's playing Louisville at 7:30 for $32 in Mercedes-Benz Friday night. Mm-hmm. You get a wild hair, you're in Atlanta, you want to do something.
It's a nice stadium.
It's a nice stadium. Food's cheap-ish. Let's see what we got. Saturday, Tennessee against Virginia at noon. Interesting game. Matchup that I think is kind of interesting, Colorado, TCU. High noon.
I want to see what Colorado does. I don't think they're going to make much noise at all in the Big 12 or the Pac-12, but I think they're going to be a hell of a lot better than they were last year. You can't get any worse.
No.
But Deion's got something like 50-something new players. He's brought in his son.
Yeah.
Brought in Travis Hunter's. Brought in the best guys from wherever it was before. I forgot the name. Jackson State.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He brought in the best players from there. A lot of those dudes were good enough to play D1.
Right.
D1 and SEC, ACC. They're going to the Pac-12 where it's a weaker conference. I think some of those guys are going to pay dividends, and they're going to be decent this year.
I agree. I think they can win 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else we got?
Not huge, difficult to do in the Pac-12, but considering what Colorado's been, this
1-2-1 seasons,
yeah,
they can make leaps and bounds. That'd be a lot better program. Yeah, I mean the slate of games is kind of disappointing.
It's everybody's playing cupcakes.
Yeah.
Credit Ohio State for actually going to a Big Ten team playing on the road first game of the season. I guess all their cupcakes are going to be like weeks 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where are they playing? Night game. Got North Carolina, South Carolina.
That'd be a good game.
7:30.
Drake May. I'm not putting my eggs in that North Carolina basket just yet.
Mm-hmm.
The hype's on Spencer Rattler. Apparently, he's having a killer camp.
I'm sure.
That's going to be the marquee matchup of the week, in my opinion. I'm interested to see both of these teams. Are they going to take the step up? I know North Carolina's ranked, South Carolina's not.
Right.
Are they going to take that step up and do something in their conference? Or are they going to take that step up and do something nationally? I don't know. I think North Carolina probably has an easier road.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina's schedule's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But Spencer Rattler becomes the Spencer Rattler everybody thought he could become in high school.
If the hype train is true,
Yes.
He could be that guy.
Never fulfilled
Yeah.
the hype so far.
But he played great in the last 2 games last season, so we'll see.
Penn State's got a decent game.
Yeah, they're playing West Virginia.
Yeah.
So we'll see what else we got. Okay, Sunday, big game matchup, LSU, Florida State. Right off the bat, I mean, this is a pivotal game here. This could have playoff implications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said that North Carolina, South Carolina was the marquee match of the weekend.
For Saturday.
Saturday. This is the marquee matchup of the weekend. 7:30, Camping World Stadium, which is always going to be known as the Citrus Bowl. I don't give a crap what they change it to. Mm-hmm. Florida State, LSU. I'm going to have to go LSU here. I think LSU is going to be really good this year.
Correct.
Year 2 under Kelly. Went to the SEC Championship the first year. Now, the big defensive tackle is not going to play this game, Mason Smith. Listening to some podcasts, Florida State doesn't have a very high blue chip ratio. Mm-hmm. They got a really good recruiting class this year because they're buying everybody,
Right.
which is legal now. I think LSU's going to be really good.
I do too.
Really good.
I do too. It's a big game. We'll see what happens with it. And Clemson's got Duke 8 o'clock Monday night.
That'd be a fun game to watch. It's going to be sneaky good.
Yeah.
Duke's never a bad program.
Yeah.
They're great, but they're never bad.
Well, do you want to go now discuss?
First episode of the season. Let's do some conference predictions.
Okay, let's go to
Conference predictions. Maybe do a little off the cuff. What are our 4 teams for the playoffs like?
Okay, cool. We can do that. Well, let's see what conference you want to start with. Maybe click on teams, be better, I guess. Actually, there we go. Hold on. Computer's slow. Hadn't turned it on in 6 months. Okay, well, let's start with the Big Ten. Why not? Since the first thing that comes to mind. What do you think?
I'm going Michigan to take the Big Ten championship. Ohio State, they reload. But I need to see that quarterback situation.
Right.
Michigan's looking real good. They're putting an emphasis on physicality, which they were a physical football team the last couple of years until they ran into a buzzsaw at Georgia 2 years ago. And then last year, I think they got really unlucky and got completely screwed by a call last year. So that game's different. I like both Wisconsin and Nebraska to do something. And when I say something, I mean 7-8 wins each, minimum. Northwestern's going to be horrible. I think Penn State's going to be what everybody thinks about Penn State. I think Penn State's going to be a 9-3, 10-2 team at best, with losses probably to Ohio State and Michigan. Not looking at the schedules.
Yeah.
Mel Tucker's making almost $100 million friggin' dollars, and they're crap. and they're probably going to be crap this year. If they're not better, I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't think Iowa's going to be any good. I think Illinois is going to have a good program. Their best dudes got drafted last year, but I think Illinois is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
That Big Ten West, or they name the legends and leaders. But I'm going to call it the Big Ten West. Always went into the conference championship with like a 2 to 3 loss team, if not more. Yeah. They're still probably going to be the case, but it's going to be a better top to bottom conference than it's been in a long time. Much more competitive conference.
And then next season, adding was it USC,
UCLA, and I think they're going to be Oregon and somebody else, Washington.
Yeah. So the balance power is going to kind of be stabilized. I think it'll be different. But yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. It's probably going to be Michigan or Ohio State. Maybe Penn State can split between the two.
If they can split Michigan and Ohio State, that's a huge season for them.
Absolutely.
Things fall the right way, they could be playing in Indianapolis.
Well, you got the Big 12 coming up. BYU is now in the Big 12, and Cincinnati Bearcats in the Big 12. So that's pretty big deal. You got Texas and Oklahoma in their last year there.
Yeah. I expect Oklahoma to be better than they were last year, but I expect Texas to take this conference. I expect Texas. We're not going to do the playoff predictions just yet, I guess, but I Texas is going to be on the cusp, I think.
They have too much talent now.
They do, and they're going to go to Alabama, and that's when we're going to see how real Texas really is.
That's week 3, isn't it? Or week 2?
I think so. It's either week 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay. Well, let's do the ACC. What do you think coming out of the ACC? Right now, you got 2 powerhouses. You got Clemson and Florida State, and everybody else.
Louisville's going to be all right. Miami needs to be good, or else Cristobal's in trouble.
Yeah.
North Carolina should be better, but I think the 2 powerhouse teams in this conference are Florida State and Clemson. New coordinators at Clemson offensively, but they got the guy was Lincoln Riley's brother, right? Came from TCU.
I guess.
They got the QB settled already.
Yeah.
I think Clemson's going to take this conference and take it easily. I'm predicting they run away with it. They might lose a game that might keep them out of the playoffs, but I think they're going to win the conference. Ain't going away.
If one of these 2 teams manage to run the table, they're in.
I need to see something from Florida State other than winning a bunch of games but struggling.
Yeah.
And I think that QB, had they put Homeboy in there before they did, they probably would have been better off.
Right. Well, let's see what else we got here. We got Pac-12. The last year, would that be a full-on Big 12 conference? I don't even know if this is going to be around next year.
That conference is going to be tough because you got Oregon, you got USC, you've got Washington, you got UCLA, you've got Utah. There's a lot of decent teams, and I'm kind of predicting, I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I want to say USC finally does it.
Yeah.
But I just can't see them going undefeated. You have to go undefeated to win a conference championship.
Well, have you seen that? I mean, you saw the game. It's their defense is the problem. Can they stop anybody? And
that's the thing. I think you can stop their offense. Their offensive line's not that great.
Yeah. I think Oregon.
I'm going with Oregon. Dan Lanning knows how to win. He's recruited extremely well. He's got transfers, got a seasoned QB in Bo Nix. This is 5th year in freaking college football.
Yeah. And I think he can win the Heisman.
I can't go that far with Bo Nix. But
I think he can.
Bo Picks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the talent. But look, he can run the football. They run that dude like Cam Rising kind of runner. Where they run that guy 7-8 times a game on QB design runs, and not counting the scrambles. I think they're going to out-physical a lot of people. Same thing with Utah. I guess, all right, so I think my pick, the championship game is going to be Oregon-Utah, and Oregon's going to win.
That's probably a good...
Dan Lanning's second year.
Pretty good guess there. I think Oregon's going to pull that out. They are, to me, they're the most all-around full team.
Yeah, I mean, I hate betting against USC. I mean, I picked USC to win the thing last year. I picked them to make the playoffs, and they should have if they didn't have the line of scrimmage deficiencies, and they
can't stop it.
Haven't been addressed. You got Bear Alexander, and
I mean, on paper, they're a better defensive team this year.
Yeah, but my concern is, we keep talking about Bear. He came from Georgia, a coaching staff that knows how to develop the players.
Right.
They developed the kid into a first-round draft pick, but he doesn't want to stick around because he's not guaranteed a spot. He's a prima donna, or he's getting bad info from his mentor. So the dude goes to California. He's got all the talent, but in that culture, is he going to become soft? Yeah. I think he's probably going to become soft.
He's going to be what USC is. Okay, SEC, what do you think? You got Alabama, Georgia, LSU tend to be the three teams that everybody's talking about right now.
A&M and Tennessee are going to be right there. One slip up by somebody, they're ready to take it. I think they could easily, if things shake out correct way, they can easily be an 11-1 team. Just like we were talking about Tennessee last year. You lost to Georgia. You could have been 11-1, probably make it into the playoffs. They lost South Carolina. I think Texas A&M is going to be much improved. I
agree.
think Tennessee probably not going to be as good as they were. They lost way too many weapons on offense, and their two best offensive linemen are gone. New QB you shouldn't miss a beat with that kind of offense. It's not difficult to plug and play that kind of athlete in there.
Right.
But the wideouts, they keep talking about that guy Squirrel something. I don't care. You're not going to be better than the two big guys they lost last year. Nobody was better than them in the SEC at all. I still think it's out to Alabama and Georgia, but you got those three teams, LSU, Tennessee, and A&M, waiting in the wings if one of them screws up. I don't see Georgia losing a regular season game, but did we see what happened against Missouri last year? Coming? No.
Don't know.
So it could happen. Same thing with Alabama. I need to see the quarterback situation. Defensively, they're going to be sick. They've got a really good running game. Could they be like the old-timey Alabama with like a garbage time QB that just hands the ball off and throws a nice pass to a tight end every now and again? And they could probably win the conference in the national championship by doing that.
Right.
But there's too much talent the rest of the conference, which I think wasn't there in years past when Alabama just ran a rough shot over people.
Yes. This Tennessee game, late November, Georgia, Tennessee, I think that determines the East. I don't know if Tennessee's going to be Alabama a second year in a row. I think they're going to be playing in Tuscaloosa.
See, that's what concerns me about Alabama. If they don't have a quarterback that can get the ball down the field and have them score quickly, you can get into some trouble against LSU's, A&M's, or Tennessee's if you're just trying to run the football.
Yes.
So I need to see who their starting quarterback's going to be. Yeah. They got the kid from Notre Dame. He's crap. They've got some big-time recruits, freshman there, Lonergan, but I don't think they're going to start Lonergan. You know,
I think Kentucky can make some noise.
Yeah, they could be pretty good.
Devin
Leary's there. They got what's his face, Martinez back. I don't know. They're always good, and then they get like beat up too bad.
Well, I mean, you get about 6 games into the season, the teams start falling off. You know, then the Georgias, the LSU's, the Bamas will rise to the occasion, but A&M.
They've got the depth there too. Not as much as the other teams you just mentioned, but they've got some depth. They lost a ton of kids from that recruiting class that they bought, and that's kind of showing everybody the pitfalls of NIL. What can happen in the locker room if they don't turn it around this year? I think that's gonna make a lot of people change their NIL policies.
You know, you just don't know how things are going to go. I mean, I think Auburn's going to be better. Arkansas, they're going to be
can't get much worse than Auburn was last year. I still don't think they're going to be that good.
It'll be another year or two with them, but I expect them to play better later in the season. I don't Mississippi State. Leach is dead. Leach is gone. You know, have that whole story. South Carolina, they're going to upset somebody. They're going to ruin somebody's season.
Just like they did last year, they ruined Tennessee's season.
Well, I guess that's about it. Any other conferences we need to talk about? Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC, SEC. That's
that's the smaller conferences. We can skip them.
But I think Notre Dame is that fly in the ointment this year. I think they can knock off USC and run it. I think they're in the playoffs. And I think they can.
They got a tough schedule. They got to play Clemson. They got to play USC. They got to play Ohio State. That's going to be a tough road to hoe.
But if they can beat 2 of the 3 teams, I think they're in.
11-1 Notre Dame is probably going to get in over, like, let's say Alabama, Georgia
Right.
play in the SEC championship. The loser might get bumped by an 11-1 Notre Dame. We all know what the committee thinks about Notre Dame. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Well, then, what's your early season playoff prediction?
Ooh, I'm going to go something different with at least a couple of them. I think we're going to have 2 SEC teams in again. Georgia, Alabama. I still think LSU, Tennessee, and A&M could do it, but somebody's got to beat Alabama. But I'm going to go easy, low hanging fruit, and go Georgia, Alabama. But I'm going to actually go Ohio State. Something tells me they're not losing Michigan three. And I picked Michigan with the conference, but something tells me they're not losing Michigan three years in a row. And I'm going to go Oregon.
Okay, I could see that.
I don't want to pick Ohio State, but there's something in my gut that says
they got to get it done.
Yeah, this is the year. If they don't do it this year, Ryan Day is done, and I think he gets it done. I don't think they win a championship. I think they get to the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, I think Georgia is going to be in it to defend their title. I don't know whether they win or not. I don't know how this whole season will play out. I think Georgia's in. Their schedule is going to make it pretty. 12-0 should be a sincere possibility. 11-1 if Tennessee knocks them off. Georgia, Notre Dame. I like your Oregon pick, and Ohio State.
I can see Texas jumping in there over a one-loss Texas jumping in over an Ohio State. I think Clemson's going to get penalized for playing in that garbage conference. And the Big 12 is not the world's greatest conference either.
Right.
But I believe it's going to have more competitive teams than the ACC is. And playing Alabama and maybe losing to Alabama is going to be a little bit nicer on the resume than maybe something Clemson has. I don't think Clemson's going undefeated, although I do think they're going to win the ACC. I think they're going to get penalized, like Dabo said last year. Little old Clemson, I think little old Clemson's going to get penalized. He's always like, little old Clemson, they want to keep us out. I think that's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, I guess this concludes this week's episode. We'll be back next Sunday for another great episode.
See you guys.